another author without an author's page right now, called Ignorant Genius. All right. I mean, without further ado, let's just read the SCP that's called the Once and Future King. So the Once King, without and future, but like because the and future is crossed out, so the Once and Future King. Oh shit. I see a lot of it is crossed out. Object class safe. Special containment procedures -1 is to be covered evenly by no less than 5 centimeters of regolith. Observation is to be maintained via remote security camera. At 2 months intervals, crystals at the perimeter are to be examined for growth. If growth from original observation point exceeds 10 centimeters, affected section is to be pruned back to original length. Removed sections are to be collected and packaged for transfer to Site 76 for analysis. Experimentation on an attempt to curtail -1's growth are currently suspended pending review. SCP-2824-2A, 2B, 2C, 2D, and 2E are held in Archaeological Mortuary Section at Site 76. Examination is permitted with written approval of Site Manager. Access to contained instances of -2 is currently suspended pending review. -2F is currently held in secure holding cell in Lunar Observation Site IOTA pending transfer to Earth. To ensure compliance, any staff interacting with -2F is to maintain that he is experiencing a delusional episode and that is being detained in a psychiatric treatment facility for his own safety. Upon return to Earth, -2F is to be administered Class C amnestics and provided with standard Schizoid Crisis Cover Story 1B, then return to society. 2F is currently uncontained. Further action regarding -2F is suspended pending review. There's quite a lot here, it seems. SCP-2824 is composed of 7 objects designated -1 and -2A through -2F. -1 is a flat circular structure approximately 3 kilometers in diameter, located in the Mare Serenitatis on Earth's moon. -1 is composed of blue microscopic ideal crystals with a uniform length of 50 centimeters. The component crystal connect at nodes to form a regular grid. A crater 6 meters in diameter is located 230 meters from the edge of -1, within which the grid and its constituent crystals have been pulverized. The remaining crystals around the crater are black, fading into brown and then returning to blue as distance from the crater increases. In the outer section of the structure, extending from the damaged area to the edge and circumscribing the entire circle, the component crystals are irregular and take on a ragged, irregular pattern, intersecting at fewer points and wider range of angles. At present, -1 exhibits outward growth at a rate of 4.7 centimeters per year. Assuming a constant rate of growth throughout its existence, -1 is hypothesized to be approximately 32,000 years old. It's been sounds cool so far. Let's see what it does. I mean, it is safe, and it's on the moon, but we don't know what it does yet. It could be highly dangerous. We don't know. But hey, -2A. -2A is a mummified remains of a male member of the species Homo neanderthalensis found at the center of -1. The center of -1 is just a mummified Neanderthal, okay. -2A was found laying on a woven beer like okay, that's how like beer is written in German, so I'm not sure if that's like what that's supposed to be. Because he like that's again in German. A beer is a stand on which a corpse and coffin. Oh, that's what it's called? How is it pronounced?
Beer.
Well, that's beer. That's not the beer I'm looking for.
Beer.
Okay, it's just beer. Okay, sure. That is not confusing whatsoever. The fact that beer, the drink, and beer, the pedestal is called the same, like have the same pronunciation, and beer, the written the same way as the pedestal in German is beer in English, the drink. Will often be composed of flowering branches of the tree Malus sylvestris. Common name European crab apple. A single fruiting body was found inside the mouth of -2A and a crude circuit of thorn branches around the head. A hand axe composed of the same crystal comprising -1 was found on the individual's chest. There we go. Cause of death for -2A was determined to be a loss of blood to the deep piercing wound in the lower abdomen. Imagine if it was B. Don't add to the confusion. 2B. 2B is a mummified remains of a Homo sapiens male found approximately 140 meters within the northern edge of -1. The individual was found wearing heavy furs and bronze jewelry, including a torque, rings, and crown. A bronze sword was found laying near the remains. All metal objects were heavily ornamented, displaying stylized nature motifs focusing on apples. Cause of death was determined to be asphyxiation. 2C. 2C is a mummified remains of a Homo sapiens male found approximately 95 meters within the eastern edge of -1. Individual was found wearing full-length white robes and iron headpiece consisting of a band around it says west, right? No, eastern. Okay. A band around the temples and one laterally passing over the head, and an iron dagger. Metal objects were heavily ornamented, displaying stylized nature motifs. Cause of death was determined to be asphyxiation. I'm trying to think like if like all these people are like supposed to be what the Neanderthal is supposed to become, like north, east, south, and west will have different different options for the Neanderthal. Or if they all were kind of like, you know, going at each other because the Neanderthal has an axe in his chest. 2D. 2D is the mummified remains of Homo sapiens male found approximately 47 meters within the southern border of -1. Individuals was found wearing a leather apron and rough spun tunic. Tools commonly used for forging steel were held in a belt around the individual waist. The individual's skin was painted with a caustic blue dye and abstract swirling patterns. And not only that, each one of them represent kind of like a different era in our history with like materials. A steel sword was found lying beside -2D, on which was found a residue of dry blood. Several puncture wounds were located on the individual's back. Cause of death was determined to be asphyxiation. 2E. 2E is a mummified remains of Arthur Rowntree found approximately 5 meters within the western edge of -1. The individual was dressed in attire consistent with a private British army during the First World War. A patch was sewn to the breast pocket of the uniform, depicting an apple surrounded by thorns against a shield. The apple coming back again. The apple seems to be an overarching theme. Research indicates that this is a crest belonging to the Rowntree family. Standard field issue. After this SCP, I need to get some water. Standard field issue items typical of the British Army during World War I were found on and around the body, including a rifle, ammunition, rations, and an entrenching tool. Cause of death was determined to be asphyxiation. Identification was established based on documents found on the body, cross-referenced with casualty lists maintaining to be Commonwealth War Graves Commission. And then 2F. 2F is Arthur Rowntree IV, a 29-year-old male of Wales, UK. On intake, Mr. Rowntree was wearing a heavy winter clothes to which is partially attributed to minor damage incurred during retrieval. On his interior with right forearm is tattooed the Rowntree family crest. Identical to that found on -2E. On his interior left forearm is tattooed an elaborate depiction of a sword, on the blade of which is written the word Khaled Round 3 has shown no anomalous properties apart from disappearance on Dash 1. Objects in contact with Dash 1 are highly resilient to the detrimental effects of ionizing radiation. Instances of Dash 2 therefore do not exhibit degradation expected at long-term exposure to the lunar surface. Genetic analysis of Dash 2 instances revealed instances B, C, D, E, and F to be direct patrilineal descendants of each preceding instance. Each instance of Dash 2, including 2F, was found within 1 meter of irregular intersection of crystals in Dash 1. Each irregular intersection exhibits a major void with which we found fragments of crystalline materials, all less than 1 millimeter thick. After the events detailed in event logs 2824-1-2 and -2, it is hypothesized that these voids were initially internal and that unstable growth caused the covering materials to shatter, precipitating that translocation of each instance of -2 from Earth to the Moon. The mechanism by which translocation occurs is currently unknown. Event log 1. On the 12/28/2016, containment procedures were initiated as -1. On -1. Upon removal of the first section of growth, -2F appeared at the site of damage. Quick intervention by containment specialists, coupled with proximity to enclosed river Iota 2, resulted in the retrieval of -2F before irreversibly damage occurred. -2F was immediately transferred to lunar observation site Iota, sedated and treated for the decompression sickness and moderate radiation burns. 2F was then transferred to a secure holding cell and detained under observation. The attached interview log. Okay, here we go. Interview log with 2F, the first one. Okay, we have Dr. Richard Garfield, senior researcher, and 2F. 2F was determined to be immediately non-anomalous. Dr. Garfield entered the containment cell to conduct an exploratory interview. This marked the first conscious contact with a subject had with Foundation personnel. Okay, it's log begins 15/33/12/29/2016. Hello, Mr. Roundtree. My name is Dr. Garfield. How are you feeling today? Hi, I suppose I'm feeling alright. What's going on? Where am I? Well, where is it that you think you are? I think I'm on the moon. Interesting. Well, you are obviously not on the moon. You are in a facility operated by a Psychiatric Crisis Intervention Foundation. It appears you have experienced a major delusional episode. What do you remember from last night? Last night? I don't know. I was outside my flat having a fag, which is a cigarette in British. Don't get it twisted. And then all of a sudden, I'm on the moon. I remember it was cold and I couldn't breathe. I was all lightheaded. There was this big blue lattice or something on the ground. A guy in a spacesuit. And then there was this buggy thing, then a doctor's office, and then I was in here, in this room. And it's kind of freaking me out because the gravity in here feels way too light. And I'm thinking that all the facts make sense that I am on the moon, but slow down. There's nothing to be afraid of. You're merely experiencing the tail end of your delusion. I assure you it will pass. You came to us quite distraught, but you seem to be recovering. Just keep repeating to yourself the phrase, I'm not on the moon, when the feeling becomes overwhelming. Okay. So, I'm afraid that you came to us without much information. It would be helpful to us if you could give us some information regarding your medical and family history. Right, yeah, sure. I don't have any personal history of psychosis, though I have been diagnosed with, and I'm on for the. Do you think the meds might have triggered this? Perhaps. Have you been experiencing any unusual thoughts? Compulsions, hallucinations, false memories, and so on? Now that you mention it, yeah, I've been having this recurring dream, very vivid. I'm a sorcerer, mourning a powerful king. I'm crying and my tears turn into crystals when they hit the ground. I forge a sword out of the crystal. When I place it on his chest, he comes back to life. That's when I wake up. Interesting. What about your family? Is there any history of mental illness in your family? Nothing that I can think of, except maybe my great-grandfather, Arthur Roundtree I. He went MIA during World War One, and no one ever found him or figured out exactly what happened. Everyone assumed he died in the trenches, but Dad said once he thought he might have gone AWOL, changed his name and moved to Paris. Maybe he had a break like mine. That sounds likely, given your current situation. Right. Tell me more about yourself. Can you explain your tattoos? What, these? They're nothing, just... It's silly. Please, anything you can tell me that will help me with your treatment. Well, oh, okay, so this one... subject indicates interior right form is the Roundtree family crest. We used to be part of the landed gentry, if you can believe it. It was a long time ago, though. Granddad was a dog worker and Dad drives a lorry. Hell, I only went to school myself to learn to be a proper blacksmith and stone carver. And your tattoo. Colorful. Can you tell me what that means? Colored sorry, it's Welsh. I will not try to pronounce Welsh words because I definitely will not be able to do it. I'm fluent and it gets under my skin hearing it mispronounced. It's another name for Excalibur. Oh, of course. I had the feeling that Excalibur, I mean, especially because like wizard and sword and placing, I was like, okay, it must be. Maybe I'm too far-fetched by saying that it has some Excalibur inspiration in there, but now I was right. I should have said something. Something is visibly uncomfortable. It's embarrassing. I told my family I used to be nobility, yeah? There's a family tradition that we... Oh hell, I feel stupid for saying it. There's a family tradition that we actually descend from King Arthur. I'm ashamed to say I used to take it pretty seriously. I must have read every book ever written on the man. I never found anything to link my family to it, though, except tangentially. What would that be? It's a stretch episode of some kind of a family theme. It's on the crest, and we've grown orchid of them in the past. And in the name Avalon, the island where Arthur went and from which he shall return to save Britain, just so happens to be derived from Athol, the Welsh word for apples. But that's it. And of course that we can't seem to stop naming ourselves Arthur, but that's hardly evidence for anything except obsession. So in your dreams you are... I'm Merlin, yes. Something sighs heavily. My bloody family. Thank you, Mr. Roundtree. That will be all. And Roundtree, like the round table. I see what you're doing there. What? What about my diagnosis? What about treatment? Dr. Garfield exits containment cell. Oh boy, I'm not on the moon. That log ends 15:52 GMT, 12/29/2016. On the 1st, 14th, 2017, 2F was transferred to Site 276 and remained in quarantine for an additional month. No anomalous properties were observed during that time, and 2F was subsequently administered Class C amnestics, provided false memories, and returned to society. Event log. On the 2nd, 17th, 2017, containment procedures were again initiated on -1 against recommendation of Dr. Garfield. So is the roundness, is that supposed to be like the different knights of King Arthur? Is that supposed to be like Lancelot and Gawain and all that stuff? Upon removal of the first section of growth, 2F again appeared at the site. Containment specialist again retrieved Mr. Roundtree and transported him to a lunar observation site, or IOTA. Now footnote that says, in recognition of this quick thinking and uncommon skill, containment specialist is to promote to junior researcher pending review of containment procedures for SB2824. Upon recovery from this injury, Mr. Roundtree was transferred to a secure holding cell See attached interview log. Interview log 2F2. Okay, second one with him. Okay, same people. After stabilization of 2F, Dr. Garfield entered the containment cell to conduct psychological priming in preparation for release of Mr. Roundtree. Oh, there's a chance for to release him? That makes sense. Maybe if he's like not doing anything, or if like the effect hasn't been on for a while, it might be like, oh yeah, we can actually let you go. Okay, hello, Mr. Roundtree. My name is Dr. Garfield. How are you feeling today? Hey, I guess I'm feeling alright. What's going on? Where am I? Well, where is it that you think you are? I kind of think I'm on the moon. Interesting. Well, you're obviously not on the moon. Is this just the same thing again? You are in the facility operated by the Psychiatric Crisis Intervention Foundation. It appears you have experienced a major delusional episode. What do you remember from last night? Sorry. Last night, I don't know, I was... Wait, what did you say I was? The Psychiatric Crisis Intervention Foundation. Now, please, what do you remember? There's no such place. Sorry? There's no such place. Not in the UK. I was looking at schizophrenia treatment just yesterday. Where am I and how did I get here? Why were you researching schizophrenia treatments? Because I think I'm a fucking 12th century madman. My dad's a fucking demon. Satisfied? Now where the fuck am I? What the fuck are you? If you will excuse me, Mr. Roundtree, I must consult my colleagues. Fuck off! Log end 13th, 31st, GMT 2/18/2017. If I'm not mistaken, doesn't Mordred also kind of like think his dad is like evil? And then that's, I mean Mordred is also just doesn't want to be the rightful new king of England after Arthur, but Arthur was like, no. No, I don't think so. I don't think that would suit you very well. I don't think you suit the role very well, to be honest, boy. And then he's like, Father, I swear I'm going to do horrible things to you. You know, Arthur is such an interesting like story of like, you know, heroic epicness, or like at least like legendary events happening, just for you to find out like a lot of people in King Arthur's life that he thought were close to him decided to like, let's screw him over. Log ends 12:31 GMT 2nd 18th 2017. On the 2nd 25th 2017, -2F was transferred to Site 76 and detained under quarantine. On the 2nd 28th 2017, SCP underwent containment breach, creating 1 major and 8 minor temporal anomalies within Site 76. After containment of SCP was re-established, an inventory of anomalous artifacts was unable to account for -2F. Efforts to relocate Mr. Roundtree has failed. Request submitted by Dr. Richard Garfield to review containment and research procedures regarding SB-2824. Addendum 1. On the 3rd 12th 2017, Foundation agents embedded at Cardiff University reported a potentially anomalous finding at the archaeological dig site near Wales, UK. During excavation, a large previously unknown cavern was discovered, on the floor of which was found a circular grid design approximately 2.5 meters in diameter, composed of fine white powder, identical to the regular pattern exhibited by the interior of -1. At the center of the pattern was found a series of 3 rectangular stone tablets, on which engraved text in modern Welsh. Full text see attached translation record -1. Analysis of the powder revealed a mineralogical composition identical to the component crystal of -1. The dig site has been quarantined as per Foundation protocol. And then the translation record TL1. Okay. On the 3rd 14th 2015, Foundation agents took possession of a series of 3 stone tablets from a potential anomalous archaeological site near Wales, UK. Text engraved onto the tablets was determined to be modern Welsh. Complete translation is as follows. These tablets are a testament to my friend and brother Arthur the Noble, King of the Forest and Lord of the Crystal Blade. Many long years ago I came to this land from far away, and I do not know how it is that such came to be. My life had been simple and safe, and I lived in a world of wonders. I remember it vaguely, yet fondly. It was not to last. My mind was broken, I was jailed and sent across a gulf wider than any chasm, and came to find myself in the forest. I did not know what had happened, where I had been sent, or how to return. I was cold and lost and alone. Such it was that I was found by the people of the forest. They were short and stocky and dressed in furs. The leaders made them take me in. They did not want to. The thinkers, creatures like me, were hunting them. There were very few of the people left. They were a dying race. Many of them wanted to kill me, but their leader kept me alive. He taught me their language. He protected me. He liked my name, and so I gave it to him. I survived because of him. I survived because of Arthur. I helped them. They knew many more things of the woods and nature. They worshipped the apple and the moon. They were gentle and kind, but they were slow. I saw new ways of doing things faster than they did. I gave them better medicine, hotter fire and sharper blades. They called me magic. I became a figure of power. Arthur understood my abilities better than the rest. They had in a cave a stone blue crystal that to them was sacred. He brought me to it and asked me to make the stone into a blade. He believed that with its power, he would save his people from the others of mankind. Just want to check how. Okay. The work was difficult. The crystal could not be shaped like a stone. To any mind of the time, the task would have been impossible. I was required to use knowledge from my previous life before my time with Arthur and the people of the forest. Well, the deed was done, and Arthur had a blade sharper and harder and more holy than any of his people had ever known. In time, a group of thinkers came to occupy a nearby field. They hunted the people of the forest, ate their men, and captured their women and children. The humans stole Arthur's son. Then Arthur decided to act. He came to me and asked me my help in rescuing his child and killing the invaders. I agreed. I told him to wait until the night when the moon was dark. I told him that the moon, the god, should not see the blood that his people spilled. He understood that the darkness would aid them. The battle was fierce. My kin, armed with tools the people of the forest could not create, and my mind had not conceived, exacted a heavy toll. Dozens of Arthur's people died, and the king himself was wounded. At dawn, I was the only human still breathing in the field, and Arthur's son was free. Arthur's wound was fatal. He lived for a time, delirious beyond my ability to aid. Yeah, isn't this the story where Arthur's like, hey, throw my sword, like he was also wounded from a fight, it was like saying the original lore, he was like, he asked Gawain, I believe, to throw his sword into the lake, where the lady of the lake would accept it, but Gawain didn't do it. Because like, him throwing away the sword would also indicate that he was no longer the king. I had saved his son and saved his people. I had not the heart to tell him that I knew the future and that his race was doomed. He asked me one last favor, raise his son to be brave and kind, and teach him my magic as best as I could. He died, surrounded by his people, then by his son and myself. His people looked to me to lay him to rest. I have been his advisor and his friend, and it was my name he had taken. I had them gather branches the sacred apple tree and wove a bed for him. I took a length of thorned branches and twined them about his head. Took an apple, the first fruit of spring, and placed it in the mouth. With that, he was carried to the side of the crystal stone, for which I had pulled his blade and laid him down. Though a stream of tears, I held his blade aloft and consecrated him to the holy moon, and bade him return when the last of his blood was to pass from the earth, and protect them as he protected me. Kissed the blade and placed it on his chest. I did not truly believe in the power of the stone or of my magic, yet at that moment something truly wonderful occurred. The crystal blade was laying on his chest. Arthur disappeared, no trace was left to save a handful of dust. His people cried out and gave praise to the moon, to the people, to the blade, and to me. So it is that I came to write these words. I swear now that Arthur shall not be forgotten. I shall ensure that his son, not mine, shall not forget the story of his father, but remembers and hands it down along the generations, so that his line shall remember that they are of grand blood, and that they are too brave and kind and wise. This tale entrusted to the cavern in which Arthur was lain shall someday be found and read, and with all those that read now that in this time and place there was a king, and that he died, and he shall come again. Arif. Translated note: Arif is untranslatable into or from modern Welsh. Given the context, it is likely a signature or other identifying mark. Not sure if it's any of the knights or any of the characters from that lore. I don't think it is. But it would be creepy if they do come back. Like Arthur as well, you know. Reminds me of the one SCP where, like, if you Alexander, yeah, where like any person who was named Alexander will be possessed, or the body would be taken over for the spirit, because the spirit wants to be immortal. But it kind of reminds me of this, except like they are trying to bring the one and true King Arthur back. Well, I say King Arthur, whoever this Arthur is. He's probably not the King Arthur that we know and love, but you know, happens. Could be the case. Could be the case. That's what they're trying to do.